A Blackburn man, Daniel Mohammed, was filmed throwing a milkshake over right-wing MEP candidate. What did the police do? Nothing. These are the recent comments showing such news is totally out of touch with reality and biased. As usual, biased, no news. But Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, or let's say, but Robert Gilbraith, whose real name is J.K. Rowling. My wife had a different name before we got married. So what? Mr. Mohammed should have been charged with assault, even if he is telling the truth, and I doubt it. He could have walked away. 4. Remember what happened to the man who broke an egg on Corbyn's head? He was charged. I wonder if the same thing will happen to this chap who threw the milkshake at Robinson. After all, it should be classified as an assault. Headline should read, Tommy Robinson attacked by a Labour voter. 6. Well, I hope Tommy pushed it with the police. The man should be locked up. Others who have only used words at MPs are doing time. Not this man. Come on, tell me, why is he different? Where is the headlines? Man throws milkshake over MEP candidate. Why do the media always pick on Tommy Robinson? If I remember rightly, when Prescott had an egg thrown at him, he too threw a punch, but he was never labelled far left or far right. And what is the criteria for being far right extremist and a far left extremist? And how come if I voted to leave EU, I suddenly am a far right? What's the latest title made up of those who voted Remain? Mr. Robinson is very unlucky in spotting what others have missed about England, and Mr. Robinson is only reporting this, and others have joined him. When people are confronted with things they do not understand or do not want to understand, they get scared, and Mr. Robinson is facing the full force of what he has observed and experienced. This is a man reporting these issues, but Tommy is only pointing things out that others have missed. The precedent was set when Prescott left-jabbed a man who did a similar thing to him. Today there are 1 or 2 posts encouraging violence against Tommy Robinson. These posts are being reported to Yahoo for appropriate action to be taken. Encouraging violence against anyone is a crime, so Yahoo may report offenders to the police for prosecution. If you don't want a criminal record, don't encourage violence against anyone. The more people try to put Robinson down, the bigger his following becomes. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets elected. Throwing a milkshake on someone is clearly illegal, so I hope the man is prosecuted to the full extent to set an example. One thing for certain, nothing will happen to the man who threw the milkshake. He's the right ethnic background to get away with it again. And just by coincidence, this bloke just happened to have a milkshake on hand. It's obvious he planned it, and I wouldn't believe a word he's saying in his defence. Articles like this are literally signing my ballot paper for Tommy. Between 2001 and 2005, the average Muslim woman in the UK gave birth to 3.5 children, as opposed to an average of 1.4 for a non-Muslim woman. The nation is something. Just look at the state of Birmingham and Wolverhampton. I lived there for 2 years, and outside of work, don't think one Muslim spoke to me, and they make up a quarter of the population. Taking a really different tact on this MEP candidate assaulted in the street article, almost like the smear stream media have overt bias against somebody that will humiliate them if he can use his position as MEP to push for proper investigation into the collusion between grooming gangs and the journos, councillors and police that covered for these gangs. The liquid in a milkshake cup could have been any toxic substance. My reaction would have been the same in that split second. Throwing anything at anyone is assault in law if it connects, and the response in that moment was self-defence. I wonder what would have been said if Mr. Robinson had thrown a milkshake over that Muslim. I live in Warrington and am a supporter. I wish I had known he was visiting so I could have heard him myself speak. Why didn't the Muslim man walk away from Tommy if he didn't want to speak to him? A Tory boy once came up to me and didn't get a milkshake even though I didn't vote Tory. There's just a few responses to the mainstream Yahoo media stream. Not one against Tommy. We wish you well, Tommy.